Okay, so CeeDee Lamb got his fifth-year option picked up. This figure is going to be around $18 million. And that is hopefully just a temporary placehold, essentially, for his contract once he gets an extension done this offseason. And I think that while he's going to get an extension done, I don't think we're going to see that till probably July or August. When you look back in the past when they've gotten done extensions with guys that they had a real motivation to get things done with early, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, when they got all those offensive linemen done, they almost all did it like around July and August, like at the beginning of training camp. Training camp is ripe for getting a lot of deals done because agents come out there, hang out in the tower with Jerry and watch practice, and they're able to work on some stuff.
Yeah, Jay Glazer negotiates for everybody.
Yeah, including the head coach. And so you get the CeeDee Lamb deal done, hopefully. If you end up tacking on a 4-year extension, that would not replace years 4 and 5 on his contract. Now that the fifth-year option's been pulled up, it tacks onto the end of it. So CeeDee Lamb would essentially be playing on a 6-year contract, hopefully, once you get a 4-year contract extension done. And then once you get that done, then you can hopefully turn your sights to Trevon Diggs.
Unless they decide to draft a wide receiver in the first round this year and use him to replace CeeDee's like a fam.
Yeah, what's the chance that Diggs is the Amari of their defense and they're like, we're moving off of this. We're not going to pay him? Because I think Broadus was suggesting or speculating that there could be a lot of complications with a Trevon Diggs extension. Steven talked about it with KMC.
Well, obviously our focus has been on keeping the guys who were free, keeping the guys that we could keep, but we're not able to, always have a clean run. But as we said, we were certainly thrilled to get Dono Wilson in the mix there. Certainly we lost some tough ones in terms of Dalton and then, of course, Connor McGovern. But, that's certainly our priority. And, as we move forward, that'll become a bigger priority here as we move past the draft. We've historically signed a lot of guys during that training camp period to extensions. But, guys like CeeDee Lamb and Diggs are certainly on our radar in terms of guys that we'd love to have around here for another, 5-6 years, whatever that turns out to be.
Diggs is complicated because where they're probably going to feel like he's valued Diggs' side and where the Cowboys probably feel like he's valued in the middle ground that they're going to have to find. The Lamb contract is so much easier.
Yeah.
Because not just because of the performance, but because of the agent negotiating it. Torrey Dandy has negotiated recent market-setting receiver deals like Deebo Samuel. It's easy to take the framework of those and go, hey, look, this is clearly the standard. This is what's been negotiated. Let's fall into these terms. It's easier than that. The Diggs one is difficult because you see deals get done for Jair Alexander and J.C. Jackson, and they're kind of all over the place and not there's not like a set standard for where a player like Diggs, who's kind of unique in terms of what he's able to do, fits in. If I am Trevon Diggs' side, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the quote that Will McClay gave last training camp, when they were asked, what do you think about these people who are super critical of Trevon Diggs? And he said, clickbait. He's elite. He's an all-pro player. That's all I'm walking in with is, look, this is what your personnel department says about us. And so the other reason why it makes sense to get some stuff done with Trevon Diggs now is because now that Terence Steele has signed his restricted free agent tender, which he did yesterday, he's locked in for this year and they are going to continue to work on a long-term extension. If they are unable to get that done, you are then looking at the prospects of Steele and Diggs being unrestricted free agents next year. Now, you're not tagging Steele over Diggs. There's no world where the Cowboys would do that. But that's the idea, is that if you don't get an extension done with Diggs and you have to tag him next year so he doesn't hit the open market, you're now exposing a young right tackle who's shown a lot of success and a lot of growth to an open market, and somebody would pay for that. They would outbid you.
Is there a rule that you can't use the tag a certain amount of years in a row?
On like players or in the league, period?
Each team.
No, you you mean in terms of a team cannot use a tag X number of years in a row, or on a player?
Can a team use the tag 10 years in a row?
Yes, they can use it every single year if they want to. And there's penalties involved and multipliers involved if you're tagging specific players certain years in a row. But a team can use it however much they want. So if you get a deal done with Diggs, that's good because then that buys you some time if you need to get something done with Steele. Otherwise, you're potentially exposing both of them to the free agent market. And that's a pretty dangerous thing.